You're with Julian on the Brown Notes and Barnaby versus Brittany, A Tale of Two Drunks. Based on the idea that a drunken man in a high position of power is treated somewhat differently to a drunken woman in no position of power. On Friday night, Daily Mail Australia published nighttime footage of Barnaby Joyce, the ex-Deputy Prime Minister of Australia and frontbencher for the National Party, lying face up on the pavement with his feet on a planter box, having a phone conversation and uttering profanities, including the C word. He said he made a big mistake by mixing alcohol with prescription medication. I wouldn't mind seeing that one followed through for the end, by the way. The Nationals leader, David Littleproud, said they would speak to Joyce. He said Littleproud said he won't be demoted, instead offering him support. Not everyone was happy, but the cabal of the boys' club that runs Australian politics and the Australian media were in general quite sympathetic towards him or found it funny. There's a very different toxic version of that when it applies to a woman. First-time Labour MP Tanya Lawrence said the incident was embarrassing for everyone in Parliament, regardless of party or persuasion. Lawrence likened him to a living, breathing caricature of Les Patterson. Let's face it, this isn't a one-off thing, is it? He was the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, lost his job and then got it back again. There just doesn't seem to be like an equal standard here. Last year we had Lydia Thorpe, who is everything that the right-wing news media hate, a strong, powerful woman of colour, who is unapologetic in her and forthright, which means that they secretly fancy her, and they do. The same with AOC in America. Independent Senator Lydia Thorpe represents the new race politics. Mr. Bolt, after she was found to have been on video outside a strip club remonstrating with patrons about the size of their genitalia and generally going off the rails, Mr. Bolt said the strip club seemed to have higher standards than the federal parliament after the strip club banned her from the establishment. So she should be banned, but that's not ever come up with Barnaby. Barnaby seems there's a lot of people that are protected in politics in this country. You just watch the way that he gets sympathy for perpetually being plastered, and behind the scenes there have been many people that claim that he is often drunk at work and has been asleep in Parliament, versus Brittany Higgins, or any woman that has been propelled to the forefront of a media news story. If she is drunk, suddenly there are aspersions cast on her promiscuity, her honesty. It's a totally different paradigm for what someone like Barnaby Joyce gets. There's this notion that they're a little bit of a devil woman. For getting drunk in the first place isn't a woman's place. There's this very archaic sexism that goes back to how women should behave and how men should behave, and men can cut loose and women cannot. But if a woman is raped and she's drunk, she's got a very, very long road to public respectability. And that's not just from the right-wing news media, that's from the public. The right-wing news media don't come from a vacuum. They might help foment and create the public I'm talking about, but there is an enormous section of the public that would look down on their noses at Brittany Higgins for being drunk the night that she accused Bruce Lerman of raping her, as going towards her credibility and her promiscuity and everything else. And the way that they would laugh off Barnaby Joyce lying in the street with his feet in a flower pot, swearing down the phone to his wife. I'm not saying at his wife because it sounds like he was just gibbering, to be honest. Now, this isn't Barnaby, like, Brittany Higgins wasn't the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia. She wasn't a front bencher. He was. It's not the first time that this has come up with him. This is a man that was the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, shacked up with his very young secretary behind the back of the wife of his 4 children, and ended up losing his job, but getting it back. Getting back the second highest position in Australian politics. He was previously accused of sexually harassing another woman when drunk. And it's a laughing joke that Barnaby is always drunk. I don't know that he is, but it is being reported by many that he has a problem with alcohol and needs support and care, or it's all jovial and good fun because blokes get away with that and play a bit of rugby and get a bit slaughtered. But that doesn't work for women. Women don't get those chances. Women get to be held to a different standard. And the standard that a very low-ranking Liberal Party gopher got, compared to the way that the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia and now frontbencher of the National Party gets treated, is very, very different. I mean, you can look at the overall impact on Brittany Higgins' life. I mean, she's the accuser of somebody raping her, and she basically ended up having to win a battle in court for compensation. Well, the compensation was in the end decided by the incoming Labor government, avoiding that particular court case. And Bruce Lerman ends up getting paid his 120 grand a year rent or something for living in these incredible properties, I think now on the Northern Beaches where we are right now. There's a boys' cabal that runs things, and they infect our politics and they infect our press, which are, this like co-joined twin almost. And when a woman's accused of being drunk, there's so many signifiers that are attached to that, of her bad morals, of what she's likely to do, inferring anything to do with sex or immorality. And with guys, it's always either a big joke or they deserve a lot of sympathy. I don't think we saw, the treatment of Brittany when she was denoted to have been plastered to be quite the same as Barnaby, who will ride this out without a scratch. Nothing's going to happen to it. No one will even ask him questions about it a month from now.